What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? This is Judah Rad.
And I'm Robo Strange.
And this is I Freaking Love Comics. Nailed it. Today we have returning guest and master of magnetism himself, Cullen Bunn, as well as artist extraordinaire Andrea Mutti, the super team behind Parasomnia, and what we're going to talk about today, their one-shot Soldiers of Fortune from Mad Cave's Grimm Tales from the Cave. Before we even get into all the hard-hitting questions, how are the two of you doing today?
I'm good. Great. It's Friday. How are you?
Anytime I get to see Andrea's smiling face, it's a great day.
Is anybody else still full from Thanksgiving, like right now?
No.
just me? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh, I spent 5 days on the kids fishing as hell, so I'm super low.
Nice.
No.
You guys, I know we're going to talk about horror stories, but let me tell you what the real horror story is. I have gained so much weight.
Shit, who are you telling?
Over the last year and a half. It's ghastly.
I definitely put on the COVID-19 as well. So
COVID-19? I lapped that, I think.
Going what?
Yeah. I used to be in the gym a lot, like a long time ago, and you do cutting and you do bulking, and I had this joke where like I'm in bulking phase, and I was like, I've been bulking for like, so at this time I feel like I've been in bulking for about last 12 years. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
All right, so we're here to talk about Mad Cave's Grimm Tales from the Cave. You guys have an awesome 8-page story in there, and
20 page. Yeah,
it's a
full issues worth of awesomeness.
Yes.
So here's what we're gonna do. Nah, you know what? I was gonna say we're gonna cut it. We're gonna leave it because it was Judah's fault. So
it was my fault.
If it was my fault, we definitely would have cut right there, and we would never have seen any of this. But I'm gonna keep it in now. No, I'm just kidding. But still, it's a short story. With the space that you had, this question is for Andrea. With the space that you had, the pacing is excellent. The panel layout is awesome. I didn't feel any lag or any rush in there. When you're doing an anthology like that, is that particularly difficult, or are you just a master by now? It's easy.
At the beginning we talked with Cullen because the titles from the Grimm Tales were tons. I mean, 100, and I remember this specific story when I was a kid. And they tried to, what about this? And Cullen, oh yeah, why not? Yes, good. So with Cullen, okay, I can say it's really great to work with. I mean, sometimes it's my brother. I mean, it could be the same mind. It's really incredible, exciting. So this story, even if it's short, it was a challenge because maybe the changing is very twisty, but at the same time, it's very direct. Cullen, for me, is one of the best writer ever because he's super clean, clear, direct on the heart. So for me, it's something every time.
That's awesome.
You know that.
You guys definitely have a magic there that you can definitely tell you guys know each other very well. So that's good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
This story, it's been a minute, so remembering it's difficult. There were a few stories we considered, but this was one. As far as, the Grimm's Fairytales, this was one I wasn't really familiar with. Andrea, shared it with me, and I was like, oh, well, that's the one we're going to do because I've never even heard of it. Let's do something crazy with it.
No, I think the main problem was for Cullen because adapt a classic story in that way was not easy. I mean, it was something because it's a short story, so only 20 pages. The novel could be complicated here and there, but it's Cullen. It's the best.
Yeah, so that's funny you said that. Sorry. That's funny you said that about Grimm Tales.
Mm-hmm.
Mad Cave's Grimm Tales from the Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Grim. I'm just gonna call myself out.
Say it 10 times fast.
I'm only just now grasping it because I was so excited about your story. I told a buddy, Miracle Man, about the story, and I told my wife about the story, and I'm like, you look at it, then this happens, and then they're like, yeah, that's another. It's just like another story. I'm like, there's nothing new under the sun. I doubt he copied it. Like, Oh no, it's a Grimm fairy tale. It's your version.
So I'm in
Yeah.
the same boat. I'm in the same boat. I didn't know that I didn't know any Grimm fairy tale before this. So it's kind of
It's
like
a very European stuff, but most of the people thinks that these tales are for the kid, like a sweet, like a
Right.
good. No, it's super scary,
they're
super
messed up.
eerie.
Yeah.
Yes, it's totally different.
So the lesson that I took away from this was maybe like don't make deals with the devil. I feel silly asking this now that I know that it's like it's a Grimm fairy tale, but is that the moral of the story, or was there kind of like any deeper subtext that you guys were going for that maybe just went over my head?
Well, first of all, I don't think all the Grimm's fairy tales didn't always necessarily have some like they weren't like Aesop's fables that had like the morals like spelled out for you. I think you had to dig for it in some of those stories. For me, this story is about you reap what you sow, and the check always comes due, and that's what this story was about to me. And it's in such a fantastical way, with the devil and these people getting everything they've dreamed of. But the bottom line is, and this is a truism, the check always comes due, always. And that's what that's what this was about. And it's about, you can fight against it, you can try to stop it, you can try to change it, but you are always going to pay that bill at some time, at some point in your life.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So within that context,
it's about the choices. The choices. I think it's also about choices. No, what you can do with something, but you have to pay something at the end. No way.
no free lunch, right?
No free lunch, man. No free lunch.
So within that context, is Marissa like the government bailout or something, or what is she?
I don't think that never crossed my mind.
So
Cool.
Okay, got it. Grimm tale, got it. But I'm sure there are many more like Judah and I that don't know the story. So I'm not going to spoil the end, because the end I thought was really, really
Compelling.
Yeah, I was like, So my question to y'all is, it's clear that I don't want to spoil it. It's clear that the story continues. Is that for us? Is this a done short story, and then you're going to leave the rest to our imagination, or is there any possibility that we're going to get some series out of this?
So I'm a never say never kind of guy, right? I'm not going to say, no, we're never doing a series. I think we intended this to be this, and the rest is your imagination, what goes on after this. Right. Look, if Mad Cave comes to us tomorrow and says, you know what, we want to do a long series about this, and we're going to pay you to do it. I mean, I know Andrea. I think we're probably going to do it.
Yeah.
But for now, the intent was this is the story. And yes, it absolutely continues. But I want I love stories where at the end, I'm left to fill in the blanks. I'm left to tell the rest of the story. I love them. So that's as far as I'm concerned right now, that's my take on it anyway.
I think that's natural for you to feel that way, because what that does is that's always a potential for creation in the future. But as a consumer, I just want to be fed. So Aftershock, Mad Cave, if you just give me a mini series with a beginning and an end, and don't leave it to my imagination. Hardcover, please. Gold leaf lettering. Yeah, I need gold leaf lettering. Okay, anyway.
Big book, specials, inserts.
Yeah, giant novel.
Yeah.
So this isn't just kind of a question for Cullen. This isn't the only anthology that came out this Halloween with your work in it.
Is it not?
It is not even close. We also had the Dust to Dust anthology piece. Which was kind of a tragic ghost story, although not the ghost with Patrick Swayze, completely different ghost. But seems like there's a lot of kind of spooky ideas in there. Where does this stuff come from?
I'm messed up. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm just a mess. And yeah, that it's interesting because that was in the Aftershock anthology.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a story I wanted to tell, a ghost story, but I wanted it to be kind of sweet and not have it wasn't intended to be a story that necessarily was going for the fright. It was more about a sweet, sort of bittersweet, sad moment. And
it's like Edgar Allan Poe spooky versus like Stephen King spooky.
But and a lot of that story came from me just not to get too heavy here, but it came from just my own thoughts about mortality, which really weighs on me right now. So that story was just a little bit about mortality, and that's where all these stories, they just come from bits and pieces of things I'm thinking or feeling, and I guess I veer towards dark feelings a lot of times.
That's fair. I grabbed this off my shelf while you were talking. You definitely have a knack for horror, and what made me laugh was you're like, oh yeah, I did that, and I'm thinking to myself, how much writing do you have to do to be surprised at something that's been published? Like, oh yeah, that's right. Like that means that you are a workaholic, clearly.
Well, I don't do as much work as people think I do, not these days anyway. And I think I've probably said this to you before, but everything I do is because I'm working with this realization that it's all going to go away.
Right.
And I'm trying to do what I can before that happens. I mean, and it's not like I'm worried that it's going to go away. It's not that it's not about imposter syndrome. I am certain that this work, what I do for a living, will be taken from me. And I don't know when, but I know it will happen. And right now I'm just trying to tell as many stories as I can until that day happens. And when that happens, hey, you know what? I'll go and get whatever job I need to get. That's fine. But I want to milk what I love as much as I can until that moment comes.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I definitely don't think that's anything else besides us understanding the temporal nature of life that we did not grasp when we were 20. So no, we get it. Andrea.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this story. The demon, the fires, the everything, I wish I could. This part's a spoiler. I will not put it on there. Please, if you're watching this, go watch this. I would put the image right here as I'm talking, but I'm not going to, because I want you to go get it and I want you to see it. But there's a very gruesome scene at the end. So awesome. Did you use any references for the demon or for that scene?
Yes.
And would you say, because I saw some of your past work, we were looking at it before we hit record, the Empire of the Dead, and you've done horror too. You obviously have done horror because you work with your teammate Cullen here. Is that your favorite type of art? So two-part question: did you use references, and is horror your favorite type of art to draw?
Oh yeah, I mean, I am obsessed about reference. I am a very realistic artist. So every time I have something to draw, could be historical, could be for war, could be science fiction, I try to have the physical object with me if I can. I know when with Parasomnia, I have the three corners, I have the weapons, I have everything through. I mean, in my hand to see the heavy, the position, the perspective. About the demon itself, for me, the demon is Tim Curry in Legend. So this is my first reference. There's no demon cool as this guy. It's really, even every time I see this movie, what the hell this is? It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Exactly.
Amazing. That's amazing. So it was something even fascinating, bad, but in the same time cool, like Evil is. But this is my point. I try to do something like that. It's a kind of thank you so much, Ridley Scott, and something, because it's really a good movie for me and a great monster.
Yeah, that's awesome. Would you say that like that kind of shock is that what you like to draw the most?
Yeah. I like to. As a reader, because every time I told in interviews at the beginning, I am a reader always before to be an artist. No, I'm a reader. So I want to be surprised every single page. I try to do the same. I mean, every single page has to be wow, and the second one question mark, wow, question mark, wow, question mark. It has to be funny, and I never forget to tell something to the readers, not to draw something for them.
Sure.
It's very important for me. I'm not,
So,
look at how good I am. No, I don't care. Look, right. I can tell you something.
That's it. So
Makes
then
sense.
quick follow-up then. What would you say is the genre? Like what kind of comics and stories? What kind of genre is your least favorite? Like what is like you'll do it because you got to get paid, but it's like
I'm a strong. Every single Friday I go to the bookstore and I buy tons of comics, and every time I have to say I discover new stories, new artists. It's very inspiring to me. I never stop to be a reader. Seriously, many of my colleagues stop reading, and for me, it's no sense. It's the best part of the job. And so I can say at least because today is this one, tomorrow is another one, and it's still running. This is the magic of this job for me. It's the same for the reading, for the novels, for the movies. It's kind of a bulimic attitude. I love it.
Yeah,
it's part of my life.
Awesome.
So you two have been collaborating for a very long time, like 10 years or so. You two have been kind of doing stuff together on and off. What do you have any solid plans to collaborate again in the near or long-term future? Anything you can talk about? Maybe.
And you're only allowed to answer if you can say the title. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh well, then I can't answer.
No, I'm just kidding.
I can't answer.
Blink twice, or whatever.
I can tell you this, and this is probably more than I'm supposed to say. We are working on 2 other projects right now. So
that's dope.
Nice.
That's dope.
Awesome.
2 other projects coming up.
What a pain. I'm so happy.
Well, I'll ask a version of the boring question, only because, like for example, Basilisk from Boom, right? I hadn't heard about that till I was doing my homework for this interview, and I'm like, how did I miss that, right? So people watching this, there might be stuff that have been released like within the past 30 days, or let's say even 3 months, that it's like, hey, check this out. This is what we're doing. So what we know Parasomnia, and we know Basilisk and Heathens. Anything else that people should know? Like check this out.
Well, there's tons of stuff for me, and I know there's tons of stuff for Andrea too, because you can't go on Twitter without seeing. Today it was like, oh, here's some new covers from other projects that Andrea's doing.
That's awesome.
But for me, there's Basilisk, Parasomnia with Andrea, which you should definitely be reading.
Mm-hmm.
There might be reasons to read more. There's Heathens from Aftershock that I'm writing with my buddy Heath Amadio. The last book you'll ever read from Vault right now is coming out, and the easy way to make sure you don't miss that stuff for me is I have you can follow me on Twitter, which is Cullen Bunn. You can follow my e-newsletter, which if you go to my Twitter account, you can get to all the stuff. I have a Discord channel where I'm always posting what's coming up, and I'm talking to people. I have my e-newsletter. So there's a way to, for people to keep up with all that, because I know I put out a lot of stuff. Andrea is putting out just as much stuff though.
What about you then? Anything, any titles that you want to make sure people know about?
I have, yesterday was out Manic of New York season 2, so a hot title, and at the same time Bunny Mask with Aftershock, and I'm going to start Parasomnia season 2 with Cullen in a few days. I just have the script is crazy good.
We're not supposed to tell people.
Spoiler!
We can.
Oh, don't edit it out. Don't edit it out.
Okay.
It's too late.
It's too late. Don't you dare edit it out.
Sweet.
So there you go.
I'm kidding. That's all.
What were we gonna say, guys? There you go.
There's not a new Parasomnia.
I wish, but
We wouldn't dare work on another Parasomnia series.
No. Wouldn't that be cool if that was real though?
Be so
It would be cool if it were real.
Too bad it's not.
I was pretty sure that was already. No,
I don't think it has been, but it has now. It's been announced now.
The cat has exited the bag.
No, at this point.
Can you edit something like that?
No. Just go for it.
I know Judah has one last question, and that'll be the wrap up. But I have one quick ad hoc. Substack. Are you two, either one of you or together, gonna start anything like that?
I have no current plans to do a Substack thing, project. That, and again, never say never. Who knows? Maybe I will. I think it's interesting. I love all the different. I love every kind of different angle for comics. I love it all. But I do not currently have any projects with Substack in the or something like that in the works. For me, that could change tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Same
I like this approach. I really like, because Cullen is a good guy, because it's the same thing about me. I mean, today's today, tomorrow could be totally different. I think it's the only way to stay on the path. Not okay, I'm done for. No, it's no way. Day by day, it's a kind of fight, miles by miles, yard by yard, like a football match. I mean, it's
yeah.
Think big but stay real every single day.
There you go.
Nice. So, for our audience, be sure to check out Grimm Tales if you haven't gotten it already. It's really good, and these two, man, it's awesome. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth checking out.
Thank you.
I can't help myself right now, so I'm just gonna apologize in advance. Probably can't say much about it, but Cullen, what's gonna happen in Deadside War?
I cannot say much about it. It's oh my gosh, it's an exciting 4 issues. I think it's what I tried to do with the first 4 issues of Shadow Man was something you might not be expecting, and with the next 4 issues of Shadow Man, I tried to do every issue as something you might not be expecting, and it's not going to go in the directions you think. It's not going to be a story that's told in the way you're expecting a story to be told, and it's going to end in a way that leads to something else that I was working on just today. So Deadside War leads into something further down the line, bigger. I think I've said this many times. I would write Shadow Man and Punk Mambo and these Valiant horror characters.
Super nice.
I'll write them as long as they let me.
Oh man.
I have big crazy plans for these characters, because these are the types of characters that Marvel never let me write. These are the types of characters that I never got a chance to write so far at DC. So now Valiant's saying, here you go, Cullen, write these horror characters, do what you want to with them. And it's interesting. Every issue of Shadow Man is a big challenge for me because of the way I set up certain things on the series. I set certain, I wanted to challenge myself with the series, and hopefully it all pays off in the end. Knock on wood. Deadside War is going to be an interesting series or interesting arc for people, I think.
Yes, I can't wait.
All right, awesome.
I'm stoked.
Ladies, gentlemen, and MDs, that is the end of our show. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, go check out Mad Cave's Grimm Tales from the Cave and check out their short story. And spoiler alert, the other stories are pretty dope too. The other titles that we talked about today will be in the description. Links to websites and socials, all this stuff. Don't forget to drop a like and a share, and go buy these books. That's really the main thing. Go buy these books and support the industry.
And get vaxxed.
Thank you very much, Andrea Mutti
Thank you, guys.
and
Thank
Cullen
you.
Bunn for
Thank you.
your time. All right, we're at it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
If you want to hear interviews from industry pros, get first looks, and have access to endless comic content, wake up. Please wake up. You're in a coma. Your mother misses you.